What food do you swear people only pretend to like? Removed. Chitlins. My mom-in-law made some at my house, and it smelled like a grown man shitted all over my home and walls. Harl. I can't imagine someone coming in from a long day of work and tucking into a plate of fishy-smelling, ammonia-flavored chewy shark chunks that make you smell like a bait camp for the rest of the evening. It seems like survival food, you will stay alive if you eat it, but it's not appealing to me. If you're Icelandic, please help me understand why this is a thing. The meals I prepare for them. Lutefisk. Once upon a time I swore that salted licorice was the most vile thing ever to have graced our fair planet. However, about a year ago my wife made me try some, and much to my surprise, I liked it. There's an emotional reaction to foods, and other sensations, that develops over time. Eventually, it gets to the point that the food, regardless of what's disgusting about it, makes you feel something enjoyable and pleasant. If I'd never eaten blue cheese before, I'd be disgusted by it now. But, I unknowingly had some when I was 4 or 5 at a family Christmas party in a cheese ball. When I eat blue cheese these days, it reminds me of warm happy Christmases of decades long ago. Fondant on like wedding cakes. Gold leaf, need I say more? I like a lot of stuff people are shitting on here, but I am in my 30s, so I think tastes change as you get older. Love me some cheese that smells of feet, anchovies on pizza, and coffee strong enough that I see through time. I used to go crazy for gummies, especially the sour ones. Now I find sweet things a bit meh, I can take or leave it. But you'll have to prise a stinky cheese board out of my cold dead hands. Paper straws. Unintended food. I'm dying inside. After scrolling through this thread, I'm starting to think there is something wrong with me because people are hating on a lot of my favorites. Just waiting now for someone to say licorice. Bitter gourds. Tripe, the smell of it makes me gag. My dad loves it because his dad loved it. The buck stops here. Tripe. Slugs. Edit, I am so sorry. I meant snails. Not slugs. Edit the second, I see we have a highly defended culinary niche and I am willing to surrender. Please have mercy. Do not eat slugs. Seemingly some of them are deadly. Oddly enough, I am having so much fun reading through your responses and stories XD. What's a commercial you'll never forget? I still giggle at the life alert I've fallen and I can't get up commercials. They even have a newer batch of them out. Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? Yo quiero Taco Bell. Ricole CHCHCH Chia. That one Campbell's chicken noodle soup commercial where the snowman eats it and melts, revealing he's the kid in the ad. It always stuck with me. Clap on, clap off the clapper. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. There are a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with. From bikes to trains to video games, it's the biggest toy store there is. I don't want to grow up, cause if I did, I wouldn't be a Toys R Us kid. The Old Western Pace Picante commercial. This stuff says it's made in New York City. New York City. Get a rope. This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs egg commercial. Collect call from Bob, we hate a baby at Savoy. Who was that, dear? It's Bob. They had a baby. It's a boy. The dancing old man from the Six Flags commercials. Meow 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 meow. Meow 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 meow. Meow 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 meow. Meow 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 meow. Wife, what are you wearing? Jake from State Farm. Jake, khakis. Wife, she sounds hideous. Husband, well, she's a guy so. That mid-00s Chef Boyardee commercial where the kin follows the family and rolls home with them. What famous celebrity is actually still a decent human being? Rick Moranis quit acting at the height of his career so he could focus on taking care of his kids after the death of his wife. Andre 3000 is a super chill dude, walks around and is so unassuming you wouldn't know he's there. Saw him playing a wooden flute on the street in Philly, said you're Andre 3000. He just tipped his hat and kept playing, really cool guy just living life. David Tennant. I was doorman in Tribeca for a large portion of my 20s. Met more high-end celebrities than you can count. From people who were in big Super Bowl commercials, C-list actors, up to Taylor Swift. I can confidently say that Chris Martin from Coldplay and Paul Rudd are two of the nicest guys I have ever met in my life. Steve Buscemi is a really down-to-earth guy. Bless his creepy little heart. Weird Al. Hugh Jackman, I'm from Latin America and one time I meet him in a not regular place to tourism, all rural people, and I can talk with him in a coffee, is a nice man and is very kindly. Brendan Fraser, there's a reason why so many people still love him after all these years. Dolly Parton is and always was a saint. Just visited down by Tennessee and everyone absolutely loves her. Even today she lives in a relatively modest home compared to her wealth, like $1 mill. Danny Trejo is one of the nicest guys ever. Bill Pullman, our Independence Day president. I worked at the school where he sent his kids, and he was hands down the nicest, most grounded famous parent I've ever met, and I've met many celeb parents teaching at that school. He and his wife were very supportive of teachers, always gave us these big holiday gift bags that included nuts and jams and honey made on his ranch in Montana, and were joyful, wonderful people. Their kids were amazing. Amazing. The kind of kids that cheerfully help you move tables when setting up a class or pick up something you've dropped. And of course smart and funny and talented. I don't know if Bill Pullman is famous enough to be called a celebrity, but dang it, I'll celebrate him anyway. I haven't heard anything negative about Steve Carell. He isn't alive anymore, but Robin Williams will always stand out to me. I used to work a lot of gala/awards events and movie sets as a medic years ago. I've met my handful of celebs and I met Robin Williams at a benefit. He was essentially the MC, and when he wasn't on stage talking he would come to our area and chat with my partner and I. And I swear to God he is the nicest and most hilarious person I have ever met in my entire life. Like we constantly were telling him to slow down because we didn't want to get caught laughing, as the event we were at was to raise money for cancer patients. He tried to tip us afterwards too as well, which we were not allowed to accept, so he even went above us and to the owner, who then passed us down the amount he tipped us, which was generous to say the least. We'll never forget that day, to say the least. A close second as well was William Dafoe. Like he's different for sure, but man, just what a nice guy. Daniel Radcliffe seems like a sound guy, and frankly I respect the fact he made all the money he'd ever need by 14 and now just does whatever Project B feels like doing. I also think he's a very underrated actor. From personal experience. I've worked with tons of famous musicians, but used to live/work next to Sarah Jessica Parker, about 10 years ago, and would talk to her every day before she would take her twins for a walk and get swarmed by the press. She was an absolute gem. I'm not a Sex and the City fan, but would always talk to her about Hocus Pocus and she was all about it. In contrast, Matthew Broderick is a complete prick.